Okay, I'm going to try to make this shorter than the first time I did it. In regards to the vision that the Lord gave me about Obama giving a state of emergency address to the public about an incoming asteroid and how it was imminent, I wanted to just touch on some scientific data and some recent facts, news facts, to back up how it's a very high possibility. Okay, not just because the Lord showed me, which is number one. I take what the Lord tells me above anything else. But if people want to see some science and some news facts, we'll take a look at that right now. All right, so right here we have the current map of the solar system. And I didn't look and see who made this. I don't know if they put their name down here. However, this shows a map of our solar system with our planets, our sun in the middle, and all the other debris, all the other asteroids and spatial bodies that are out there, meteors, asteroids, and such, that are, sorry, excuse me, that are out there at all times. Okay, and then the planets are constantly in their orbit around the sun. Okay, so on this map, which is dated today, it's updated every day, we have small green points that mark the location of asteroids which do not approach close to the Earth right now. This does not exclude the possibility that they will do so in the future, but generally we consider them safe. Okay, the yellow objects in the map, with the exception of the one in the middle, which we astronomers call the sun, haha, this one is the sun, are Earth approaching asteroids, which are called amours after the first one discovered. They come close to the Earth, but they don't cross the Earth's orbit. However, their orbits are close enough to the Earth that they could potentially be perturbed by the influence of the planets and begin to cross the Earth's orbit in a short time. So the sun, other planets, gravitational pull, they could be moved out of their current orbit. And there are over 300 known objects on such orbits. And then the red ones mark the location of the Apollo and Aten asteroids. These cross the Earth's orbit and are the most directly identifiable astronomical threat for the near future. Included in this selection is the infamous asteroid 1997 XF11, which made a major impact in headlines in March 1997 when it had a good chance of hitting the Earth in 2028. However, recent calculations say that that predicts a close approach about 600,000 kilometers, so it won't be impacting. Other asteroids which have orbits which may hit the Earth are these two, but if you look in the news, there's many possibilities. They always find new ones, and I'm going to go over those in a minute. I'm going to stop and pause so that I can open those links, because some of the links that I open, there's advertisements and they really lag your computer and I can't go to the next screen. So further observation is required to determine the orbits in sufficient detail to predict an impact or a near miss. So they're constantly monitoring these. It is estimated that there are perhaps 100,000 to 1 million undiscovered asteroids on similar Earth-crossing orbits. So think of that. These are the ones they know of, and it says have a nice day. So these are the ones they know of, but there's possibly 1 million others. Okay, so they can't possibly monitor all this. The solar system is a very large place, and let alone the galaxy. And so here's the sun. Here's the orbit of Mercury. Here's the orbit of Venus. And then this light blue is Earth's orbit. Okay, so as it's orbiting the sun, these spatial bodies are also on a projection, on orbit around the sun. So they're constantly whizzing by us, different angles, different speeds, and different orbits. Okay, so just look at today. the stuff that we have around us. Okay, it's only God in his infinite protection, his hand upon our planet, that keeps these things, at least the big ones, from impacting us. Okay, at any time, any moment, one of these is possibly able to collide with Earth. All right, if you go to JPL, they have Near Earth Object Program. You go to JPL, neo.jpl.nasa.gov/California, click on Close Approaches. So they've been monitoring these for I don't know how long, but they're really on it now. 1 AU is 150 million kilometers. 1 LD is 384,000 kilometers. And I think it's 87,000 miles. I'm not going to do the math right now. Anyways, hold on, let me pause. Okay, so 1 lunar distance is 238,000 miles. Okay, so about 250,000 miles. So when they give you these LD, lunar distances, the one that just passed us yesterday, 2014 YE15, it was 2.9 lunar distances, 2.9 times 238,607,000 miles, sorry, away from the Earth. And this is the width of the object and the magnitude and the speed, kilometers per second. All right, so as you can see, December 31st, we have 2, then 1, then 2, then 3, then 3, then 1, then, so almost every day there is an object that comes within this distance here, and the diameters, the dimensions are here, and then the velocity. So they update this. They're watching these objects, and they're trying to deal with the ones that possibly might cause a problem. All right. There's rumors that there's one heading our way for impact this June 16, 2015. And some people have made a video about that. In November, they said 7 months. That was an insider, a scientist that gave another YouTuber that information. And then a lot of people are on the September 24, 2015 date. And it's also ironic that this date is the day after the Yom Kippur, the Jubilee year, on the Hebrew calendar begins on September 23rd, 2015. And so it's very interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how prophecy unfolds and how these things that come upon us. And I just pray that we're all protected. Those that are faithfully serving him are protected, and he guides us and gives us wisdom and comfort and love to deal with the situation until he does take the church out of here. And so anyways, and some believe that the rapture could occur on the Day of Atonement, September 23rd, 2015, but we don't know, because we don't know the day or the hour. We can only tell the season that we're in, and we definitely are in the season. We see the birth pains beginning. So this article is very interesting. This is a Christian. Some of it is scripture, some of it is his own perspective and take on this date for the possible asteroid collision. And then I'm going to leave a link. I'm going to leave a link for this so that you can read it, so I don't waste more of the time during the video for this. Okay, so why September 24, 2015? Okay, so interesting. If you look up 500-day deadline before climate chaos, you're going to find different links and articles to this and different videos, even by popular YouTube people. And it was like perhaps a slip of the tongue by French Foreign Minister Laurent Fabius, but he said we have 500 days to avoid climate chaos. Now, then John Kerry, just like Obama sometimes played it off and and then the news tweaked it and tried to make it sound like he was talking about, right here, UN climate conference, the next major UN climate conference scheduled to open in November 30th to December 11, 2015. But that wouldn't be 500 days. And why would there be like a time frame set for it, right? So now I'm going to open up the link. I'm going to pause and open up the link to an article that specifies more on this. Okay, so in 2 languages, French Foreign Prime Minister Laurent Fabius started the countdown Tuesday to climate change disaster, speaking in Washington before a meeting with American counterpart Secretary of State John Kerry. This was May 13, 2014. Okay, he started saying in French, "We have 500 days to avoid the climate chaos." And Kerry added, "Thank you very much. Do you want to say anything?" He speaks perfect English. "Do you want to say anything?" After he already said what he wanted to say, and John Kerry just disregarded that. So speaking then in English, Fabius touched on Iran, Syria, Ukraine, but then quickly returned to climate change. And very important issues of climate change, climate chaos, the foreign minister said. And we have, as I said, we have 500 days to avoid climate chaos. And I know that President Obama and John Kerry himself are committed on this subject. And I'm sure that with them, with a lot of other friends, we shall be able to reach success on this very important matter. So hopefully this scrolls down. There's too many ads on this page. Fabius and Kerry went into a meeting that morning. Later on Tuesday, Fabius spoke at the French embassy in Washington, where he was critical of the Obama administration over its Syrian policy. A reporter brought up Fabius's comment to the White House press secretary, Jay Carney, drawing laughter in the press room when he asked, "I wonder what your timeline is." I don't have a specific reaction to that statement except to say that the National Climate Assessment that was released last week paints a picture about the fact that these impacts are already here. Carney said, some are sooner than the scientists expected, and that only reinforces the need to approach this in the kind of comprehensive way that the president has laid out. So something weird, suspicious there, but they said 500 days. And so March 13, 2014, to the 500 days later would be September 24, 2015, and thus why people are speculating that that's when this asteroid will hit, because it will cause climate chaos. And perhaps that's the real reason for the Orion mission, is because they're trying to see if they can deflect somehow this asteroid or asteroids in the future, and look for also a way to inhabit space or spatial bodies around us when things do go down. So what happens if a big comet hits the Earth or an asteroid? Okay, it can cause huge tidal waves, earthquakes, fires, and put so much dust and spot into the air, most of the sunlight would be blocked, and plants would die, and animals would have nothing to eat. It would cause famine and pestilence, disease, and it would cause earthquakes. Okay, and it would also could be one of the reasons, like I said before in another video, it could be a super volcano explosion, or it could be dust from bombs, or it could even be an asteroid impact that causes the soot and ash to go into the atmosphere. It's said that if a large enough asteroid hit, even if it's not extinction level, it could cause enough ash and debris to go into the atmosphere so that the sunlight would be blocked out for a year. And I have a YouTube friend who said that the Lord showed him that the sun would be darkened for like 400 and something days, which is a little over a year. So that's interesting as well. We know that we're definitely in a time in history where there's God's timeline, things are happening. We have the 4 blood moons, 2 have already, and they were all on Passover or Feast of Tabernacles, Sukkot, and 2 of them have already occurred, and then the next one's April 4th, and then the last one is September 28, 2015. Lots of things happening this year, I believe, on God's timeline, and with the birth pains increasing, so things to pray for. And we also have, in between the second and third one, March 20th, 2015 is a total solar eclipse right here. And so remember, that could be another reason why the sun is darkened and the moon is turned to blood before the great and awesome day of the Lord, because we have the blood moons and we have a total solar eclipse March 20th. Okay, before the April 4th blood moon. And then this is a very interesting site, and it talks about God's calendar and the Jewish holy days and the Shmita year, where Jonathan Cahn talks. He's got a book, The Harbinger, about that, and then the Jubilee year. We're in the Shmita year right now, 2014 to 2015. The year 5775, and then the Jubilee year is 5776, which is this coming year to the 2016. I'll leave a link for this. It's prayforzion.org. But here's the calendar with the blood moons, and then the solar eclipse in March, and then we have the Hebrew calendar here, and then 9/23/2015 is Yom Kippur, which is the proclaimed year. It's the year of the Lord. It's the Jubilee year. And basically there's 7 years of 7, right? The 7th year of every 7 is the Shmita, where God's people were supposed to rest from their labors or from planting crops to give the land rest, so that they would, it's sort of like the 7th day of rest in God's creation week. So the 7th year, they're supposed to rest from their labors and honor the Lord, and so it's cycles of 7. Well, after 7 cycles of 7, it's 49, and then that 50th year is the Jubilee year of Jubilee proclaimed, and that is 2000. It starts 9/23/2015. And the last one, I believe, is June 7, 1967. Anyways, this is very interesting. The Shmita year ends September 13, 2015. And the last time it ended was when we had the economy collapse in 2008. And then the time before that was 9/11, 2001. And we all know what happened then. So interesting to see what the Lord is going to do in September and or before. So it talks about all that, and then the year of the Jubilee, and talks about that every 50th year in this article. So I'm going to leave links to these items. And then also, we know that we've had many previous close encounters. Just going to turn real fast to here. Back in June 13, colossal asteroid, the Beast, flew by Earth on Sunday. It was huge, and it could have struck the Earth. But everything's in God's timing, and nothing happens to us that God doesn't already approve. Okay, and He's in control of all things. But anyways, it was near Earth asteroid, and it flew by, and that was in June. But they only saw this asteroid in April, 2 months previously. So it was one that they didn't see coming, and yet it was here. And then near miss tiny asteroid. I didn't keep these links up because they run their articles and slow down my page, and then I can't. So near miss, tiny asteroid gives Earth a close shave. This was on May 15, 2014, and I'll go ahead and go there real fast. Trying to make this shorter than I had before. So this was May 15, 2014, and it shows you a little star map here. And when it lets me scroll, I'll scroll. Anyways, move. Hold on. Sorry. Let me pause for a sec. Okay, so it says discovery images of NEA 2014 JG55, a 10 to 26 foot wide rock that passed only a quarter as far as the moon from Earth on May 10, 2014. In the 2 hours separating these images, the object's apparent motion indicated by the streak it forms on the images during exposure increased by 50% to 1.5 degrees per hour, and it brightened from 18th to 17th visual magnitude. It says that it came by and it was only a quarter the distance between the Earth and the moon, and the flyby marked the third closest asteroid near miss of 2014, researchers said. It was 22,000 miles per hour, and it wouldn't have done too much damage. However, because it's small, scientists think that it was discovered on Saturday by the Polymer Transients Factory survey in Southern California. So they discovered it on Saturday, and it buzzed by the Earth just a few days later, or the next Saturday. So, or that same Saturday. But that's what I'm saying. They can't possibly monitor all these objects because, like they said, there's a million, possibly a million, that 100,000 to a million undiscovered that are on similar Earth-crossing orbits. So God knows, and in His time, one of these, it's just a matter of time before one of them does hit. We have small ones that hit, and we know in Revelation that they will. But it's all in God's timing, amen. And so in the meantime, just pray for this year. There's things that are going to happen, and I believe we'll see more tension with other countries. We'll see more what's the word I'm looking for? More dissension with other countries, more maybe escalation in war, and the economy at the end of the Shmita, who know the economy is due to go out. And so just pray for these things. I pray that our rapture, our taking, will be soon, and that we can escape these things. God bless.